Okay, hello. I am gonna explain to you how to create mapping files for the adults minimap mod. Um, First off, you can find the mod on GitHub here. I will link this with this video. To install the mod for pure usage, you can install minimap in PAM. It's on there, so you don't have to interact with GitHub to just use the mod. But if you want to add mappings, you will actually have to download the mod yourself. It's not on PAM, at least not right now. That may change in the future, I'm not quite sure. So first off, you can just install adults minimap on PAM, or you might already have done so. And after that, you need to go to this URL and click download zip. And you will download a zip that contains all these files. And then you need to place these two folders that are within the zip. So you unpack the zip and you take these two folders and you place them in different locations. The first location, I will also indicate the whole path with this video in the text form so you can copy paste it, is the mods folder. That's usually under this location. So I will give you this location and you can copy it and you can click here and paste it in and press enter, and then you end up here. So you will see I have the GeoMapper client already placed here. You need to place your version here as well. And then you need to go up one file directory. And then there is server mods. And in server mods, you need to put GeoMapper server. And after you've placed these two mods in these directories, they will appear in PAM. So you can enable GeoMapper server, which will also enable GeoMapper client and the cheat to allow create unit. And additionally, it's also very helpful to actually also enable alerts minimap. So once you've enabled all these mods, you can start your PA. And additionally, you need to start the debugger, the UI debugger for Chlorine. You find this program in the Planetary Annihilation directory under stable or also under PTE. It's the same program, it doesn't really matter. And there in Coherent debugger, and there you go, I think it's debugger. Yeah, this is the program, you will need it. And for now you can just start this and put it somewhere away and log in. So before you actually can start this, you need to modify your server a little bit. That's because the mapping process needs to know all possible spawns for a 101. And to do this, you need to modify your local server. You can find the file under your Planetary Annihilation install in media server script. And there is the file, I think it's state landing. And then when you open it, you will find this file. And in this file, in line 95, this is the modification I made. You can find this code block in the README of the server. This is exactly the same code. And you can copy it in. And usually, instead of this code, here is something that goes, I think it starts with while something else. And that block needs to be removed. So with this code, you will make it that every player in the game gets all spawns that are used for 101. Or I think even all spawns that are used in all kinds of game setups. And yeah, so after you've modified it like this, you can start your PA and go to multiplayer custom. And now you need to create a local server. That's important. It needs to be a local server because only then you will end up using this code that you just modified. So you create a local game. And then you will also see that the server mods are enabled, cheat, allow, create unit, and GeoMapper server. And now you can just choose whatever system you want to map out. For example, I will do the Iron Sky system. Now you can add an AI and just set it to have no economy at all, so it won't annoy you, it will just do nothing. And wait for the planets to build. So while the planets are building and the game is loading, let's look at the UI debugger. The UI debugger is a program that helps you debug the UI of PA. It's a very helpful program in general. If you're interested into UI modding, it's the program to start out with and check out how everything works. For now we just click go, and once you are in game and see this, you can click here live game. And here you will see different tabs, and you're interested into the console tab. So before we use this, we need to spawn somewhere. As you can see, we have 4 spawns. Usually you would only see 2 spawns and the other spawns would be your opponent. So we just choose one spawn. And after spawning, we need to make sure that the AI has not spawned directly next to us. If that happens, you just need to walk away a bit so that the commanders won't kill each other. But quite often it doesn't happen. So in this case, for example, I'm alone. So once this is finished, you can now go to the UI debugger and do detect planets and map them. I've only typed DET and it suggests already to have this. You can accept this suggestion by pressing the right arrow, and then you can add these braces and the semicolon and press enter. And now everything should happen automatically. That's a weird process that's being used to gather data, and it's simulating lots of input. While it's doing this, you can do other things on your computer, but you should not touch the game. So definitely don't give camera input or game input or something. Just watch it happen. And now you can see first what it did was place max by cheating in avatars and letting them area build. And now it is mapping out the planets. As you can see, this looks a bit laggy. Usually when I'm not recording a video, it's actually like so fast that it looks pretty fluid, like it has 30 locations or something per second. Now it's, I think, like 5 to 10 maybe. So this will take a few minutes. Obviously it will be a little faster when you're like not recording a video. For me it's usually like 30 locations a second, so it usually only takes a few minutes. Let's hope this will finish within a few minutes. At this point there is nothing more you need to do. This whole process is a bit complicated and I hope it is stable and reliable, but it may bug out sometimes. If it does, and if you can reproduce bugs, then please post them on the forums. But I hope it will work. So you can just watch it do this, or you can open your browser and browse the web or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just don't touch the game. It can do this in the background. And yeah, so let's wait. What's interesting is that the debugger is showing you what's going on right now. So it shows you that at first it processed the planet Climo, and then it tried to place max there, but I think this moon doesn't have max, so it tells you that it couldn't do that. And then it goes to the next planet and places max, and goes to the next planet and places max, and it also does these pings on every planet. That's done to get the camera ID of the planet that is now required for this camera movement. And once it's finished with getting the camera IDs and initiating the max placement, it starts to do this mapping that basically works by focusing the camera on lots of locations of the planet. It basically iterates over the whole surface, and on every location it runs code that tries to place a wall and a torpedo launcher, and if one of them returns that it could success in this location, the mod then knows that that location is land or water and can be built on. So that's how the mapping actually works. And yeah, now it's doing this for the planet Noble's Keep. I think that's the biggest planet in the system. And that takes a while. And basically, we are now waiting for it to complete. And after it has completed, it basically will put in a big JSON blob here, and you have to copy it and place it in a file. I will show that once it's finished. What can happen is that on planets that are very big and have a lot of trees, that the placement of the max actually takes longer than the mapping of the planets. In that case, it will not immediately not immediately print the JSON, but instead it will print a notification that tells you, okay, I'm waiting for max. There's still max being placed. Please wait. And once all max are placed, it will print the JSON that you need. So it's really a completely automatic process. You just start the game, spawn your commander, and make sure that you're not next to the AI, and then you run detect planets and map them. So I hope this will finish. Usually it's 3 times as fast. It's kind of annoying with the video. I also don't know if the video has negative effects on the mapping quality. We will see. You can see the area build thing. It's kind of weird. Usually when I'm not recording, it's like always in the middle, but now it's moving around. That may be bad. I don't know. I guess I can show you where to find a file where you need to place the JSON on. That's the file systems.js. If you don't have it set up in Eclipse like I have, then you can find it in your mods directory in the location I already showed you. And it's part of the... where is it? I have way too many mobs. Minimap. The folder is called minimap. And there you go, UI, mods, minimap, and then you have systems, and you can open it, for example, in Notepad++, and here it is. So you see I already have a lot of mappings for all Exodus planets and for some Uber planets as well. And you can also see that these are pretty big, and the file has, if you look at the length, I think that's more than 2 megabytes by now. So that's the reason why I can't store these things in local storage. I think the local storage only has like 5 megabytes limit overall, so it would endanger of going past that after a while. So this file basically works by having these lines, and these lines is the stuff that will be printed once the process is finished. And at the end of every line there is a comma, or a period, I think it's called. And yeah. So the way the minimap looks for them is basically it uses this name to look them up. So the names all need to be perfectly what they are in the game. But that's the mapping should take care of that usually. So it's still mapping the first planet. I think this is the biggest planet by far. Like the others are way smaller. I hope, at least. I think usually mapping a system of this size takes less than 8 minutes. So, yeah. It's interesting how big the effect of the video is on this process. Basically, it seems that making the video is slowing down the feedback that I get when I do hey game, I want to place a wall in this location. Please tell me if I can, and then I get an asynchronous message back if I can or not. And depending on that, I decide something, and then I make the next step. And I guess these messages come back way slower when I am making a video. But apart from that, there's no slowdown, so this code is running at the best speed it can run at, which currently apparently is 3 steps per second, which is pretty horrible. But I wonder if I can pause the video creation, but ah, first planet has been finished. That's nice. So now it tells us that it has mapped 3,570 locations of the planet Noble's Keep in 508 seconds. That's horribly slow. Usually I take less than 140 or something for a planet of that size. And it was a mapping rate of 7 locations per second on average. Yeah, that's slow. And now it started TJ's lair, as you can see. TJ's lair has a lot of mags. But I think TJ's lair is a bit smaller. So it should go faster because the amount of locations that are checked is linear to the surface of the planet. So I think it's like 750 locations per square kilometer. So the other planet, as you can see here, had a few kilometers. I don't know the exact radius of these planets. And I certainly don't know the exact square kilometers size in my head from the radius alone. Yeah. It's not even using all CPU. I'm really wondering why it's too slow. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can probably skip past this rather boring process. Yay! 1,485 locations with, again, 7.4 locations per second. But this moon is going fast. And it's really small. So you can see even with not even a third of your normal speed, it's still only at like 15 minutes for 3 planets. So usually it should take less than 5 minutes for a normal system. And without recording a video, which I think is okay. Moons are also the thing is you can't actually see the craters on the minimap because they are all like you can build stuff in there anyway. And now it's finished. and you can see it prints a lot of JSON. And now you need to copy it, and to copy it you go with your mouse cursor to this location here, and you start copying it by moving your mouse cursor a bit. You make sure that you don't include this braces here, you don't need it. And it's if you copy it, it will break stuff, so don't take this brace. And then you hold Control, Shift, and press End, and it will move all down over all the JSON. And now you hold Shift and use the arrow keys to manipulate the selection. And you can also press End to go to the end of the line like this, or position 1 to go to the start. And now you need to select it so that you get everything but the last brace. So basically you don't need this braces and you don't need the one at the start here. And once you have that, you can press Ctrl C and you can, well, let's use Notepad++ for a change. You can copy it in here. So Iron Sky System, and you make sure that you put a period at the end, and you need to make sure that on this line before there's also a period at the end. And once you've done that, you can go back into PA, and now you can go into the UI debugger and press F5 inside this window. This will reload the whole UI. And now we should see the mapping. Usually now it just uses the default settings, which are not necessarily good. Like this looks just stupid for the moon, for example. So you can try lots of different projections, like Mercator or something, and yeah. For a moon, they are usually pretty boring because, especially if the moon doesn't even have max, it's like there's nothing there but ground. So, but you can click here on the minimap, and it will move the camera. It will also, as you can see here, it moves the camera of this pip according to the movement of your mouse on the minimap, and same for the other planets. And you can also go to the spawn locations and find your commander here. And by pressing Alt on the minimap, you can move the minimap view around like this. And so you can basically configure the minimap in a way that makes it best to use, using whatever projection you want and whatever dot size you want. The dot size basically is this, so it makes stuff smaller, or well, negative values work. Interesting. I never tried that. No idea. It's probably not a good idea. It's probably not a good idea to use negative values, but for big planets, it's usually a good idea to reduce the dot size so that you that it's fine enough that you can see stuff. And yeah, need to use some projection that you think is nice. And let's do it for the last one and select something funny like the butterfly. So beautiful. And as you can see, for example, here, this little blue spot is basically this water here. And yeah, that's the process of adding new systems to the alerts minimap. I hope this will work for you, and I hope that the minimap will be useful to you. Like it has lots of funny features, like when you build for these buildings, for example, you see here the dots pop up and show you that you have buildings there. And if you increase the dot size, they become easier to spot, but everything is a bit blurred. So you need to find a compromise. And if they are destroyed, you will notice this as well. And there's also notifications and stuff when stuff like things that happen, like pings. This was bad. Okay, this is something I didn't notice. If you do a ping while this mod is installed, then basically you trigger lots of stuff you don't want to trigger. It doesn't really matter now, but Yeah, basically, while the GeoMapper client and server mods are enabled, don't play the game. Make sure that after you're finished with this and you have this situation that you have this the minimaps for the map are showing and you have added them to the systems file. Basically, close PA, close the debugger, go into PAM, and make sure to disable GeoMapper server and the cheat, and this also should automatically disable the client. And only then start playing. Don't play with these mods enabled, because when you do a ping, they will do weird stuff and you don't want that. Yeah, I think this is everything. So this video is like long enough by now. Thanks for watching.